The last lecture by Randy Pausch is probably my favorite book that I read in the past year. It was a fantastic book. I loved reading it. I couldn't put it down. My mom actually read it before we even got to that section in the semester, so she had already read it and was trying to get me to read it early, and I was like, I have other things to do. But when I finally did get to read it, it really was great. And I think one of the things that my mom really loved about it is that my mom's a hospice nurse, and so she deals with people who are going through these kind of similar situations every day, and and because of that, being her son and being, home with my family a lot, I think that for a person my age, I've probably thought about the death and dying experience a lot more than maybe like some of you guys have, or other kids my age really would. Just because, that's something that's a part of my mom's daily life, and so, we're a very communicative family. So when she is talking about that, she comes home and we talk about that together. And but yeah, I really just think it's a beautiful thing, and so many of the things that Randy talks about hit home so well with me. The fact that he really wanted to have a legacy for his family, and I'm so happy to have a father who's left me with a legacy, and I hope someday one of my childhood dreams is to be a father someday too, and to have a family and to have kids who I can leave a legacy to. And I'm really excited about that, and I loved seeing how Randy chose, instead of to look at all the negatives, he chose to look at the positives, and just the broad spectrum of things that he looked at and talked about in, the shortness of his book. You could just really see, he was a father who was writing because he thought it was important, but really he was writing to his kids, and it was really cool for me to be able to sit and listen to a father's wisdom. I really enjoyed that. And, Randy touched on this a little bit, but more the readings kind of surrounding that, the stages of grief. I think that was really cool, and how Randy kind of inadvertently weaves those into his story, through his stories actually, and through like his wife and people around him and himself, and really having to be critical of, why do I want to do this lecture? What's in it? Why am I doing this? Is it just pride? Is it fear? Just working through all the different stages of grief that Kugler mentions. But then ultimately being able to come to this point of acceptance where he can just say, you know what? I have cancer, I have 10 tumors, and, some days were good, some days were bad. He talks about on the day of the lecture, he felt sick from his chemotherapy, and then he gets up on stage and, is able to just start doing push-ups in front of everyone. So I think that's just a really great representation of the cancer experience, and the horror that it brings, and the tragedy that it brings to his family and to his friends and the people that he knows. But I also really love, one of the stories he talks about is a lady from his school drives up behind him while he's driving his convertible, and he just looks happy and kind of lost in a happy place, and she says, oh my goodness, that's Randy, he has cancer. And just how that made me think about my life, and I don't even have cancer. What reason do I have to be sad? Just how am I showing joy? How am I taking advantage of the life that I've been giving and making the most of it, and trying to make it a better place for the people around me, and for, like Randy, everyone that he comes in contact with. There's so many people he talks about how he tried to make their dreams come true, and I think that's really cool. It's just a really cool concept to be able to make someone's dreams come true. I think that's just a really, really special thing. But I think, the last lecture was a great last lecture for our class, and I've been really happy to be in this class with you guys, and I hope you enjoy these videos. Thanks.